Hey Taeler Army! Welcome back to Taylor's Tiny House on Wheels for another episode of All Things Taeler for my blog on YouTube. If you like what you see, subscribe. Let's build this shirt. I have like messy workout hair, don't care, one of my favorite tees. This is actually really funny. It was known as like Taylor's Training Day shirt because I would wear it to training every single weekend. I love Skillet. Super huge nerd. I actually met them and they were super awesome. They were so inclusive. They gave me such amazing advice, guys. And like I was even just too young to even understand the gravity of what they were telling me until several years later. So they are so awesome. They are near and dear to my heart. Thank you so much, Skillet. You guys rock. I love you all so much. Subtle plug. This is like my 7th or 8th go because it has been just madness in this house. So it's probably a bad time to say don't shop, adopt. But seriously, guys, don't shop, adopt. Rescue pets are awesome. If you noticed during the video, I have one like lavender-ish hand and the other hand is just like gross, plain, no fake nails, nothing. It is because I decided one of my little cousins, she wanted to learn how to paint nails. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it, right? And so I was teaching her and she decided there was so much work involved with it that she just wanted to have snack because it was snack time and get ready for Teen Titans. So thanks, Teen Titans! You can't see me. But I will rock it anyway, so just in case you guys were curious. Gotcha. Got you covered. I'm using that cool tool that I mentioned on one of my other YouTube videos from Groupon to try to shoot this. That way you guys aren't all up in my face. And to kind of reiterate what I was talking about on Twitter earlier today, I took a break briefly from my wrestling experience for my vlog because I really wanted to just catch up on a bunch of fans from messages and just comments and things. And I may not be able to respond to each one individually, but I felt there was like so much importance in what y'all were telling me and experiencing and sharing with me that I kind of wanted to really give back and kind of share them while maintaining your privacy, because I felt like a lot of the experiences everyone's going through, they aren't necessarily unique. The only thing that's like super insanely unique is us as the people that are involved. But a lot of us have gone through similar circumstances, just insert different people. And when I asked my fans what we should be called and you guys came up with Taeler Army, I felt like that was just so powerful that I really wanted to just take that and just go with it because it gave me the feels, you know. I was like, wow, Taeler Army, that sounds so badass, so powerful, like, yeah. And the more you all were sharing with me, the more I was like, there's something here. There's something that needs to be touched on that no one else is really doing. You know, everybody else is like, buy my merch, I'm the best wrestler. Everybody's just really just drinking their own Kool-Aid, and, you know, we'll get into that on other episodes. But I wanted this to mean more. And I wanted to help you all, you know, because we as people can often forget that, you know, we are individuals and we go through circumstances, but we are not our circumstances. Our circumstances don't define us. They're just things that happen. And it's all about perspective and how we choose to allow it to affect us and what it's teaching us, you know? And I really wanted to give back with that because it really is all about perspective. And because reality is relative, you know, because it varies from person to person, because we all have different perspectives. That way, that just proves right there that reality is relative, like I've been saying for years on social media. You know, your reality is completely different from someone else's, but yet they're coexisting at the same time. So that just goes to show. If you see me touching my face and stuff a lot, I'm sorry. My allergies are like out of control. Something I haven't really talked about too much is I'm actually allergic to my dog, Slinky. So I have to take medicine like every single day. I can barely go 24 hours without it. So if you see me like, oh, nothing crazy going on, I'm just like severely allergic to my dog. Hives and all. But I love him. So yeah, I really want the Taeler Army to mean so much. It feels to me so positive and so inclusive and so amazing that anytime someone types it into a search engine or Twitter and Instagram, I want them to just instantly feel like they're immersed in such embracing positivity, such acceptance, and such badassery, like I said on Twitter, because to me, that's what it represents. And it makes me feel that way. And it gives me an extra sense of why I get up and do what I do every day. It's not just about wrestling moves that, you know, some fans have never set foot in a ring, so they don't understand what they feel like. It's like a different way for me to connect with you all and share things that I have learned in my life, so that us as fans, because let's face it, I'm a fan too. You know, I didn't get into wrestling because I hated it. You know, so I think deep down, you know, when people talk about marks and all this other crap, like, it's like, really? Really? Because I'm pretty sure we're all marks in our own way, because most of us loved wrestling and that's why we got into it. You know, most of us didn't just fall into it. There was something about it that we loved, you know? So it kind of just makes me roll my eyes when I hear people talk about how marks should be in seats and whatever. It's like, there's kind of more marks in the locker rooms as opposed to sitting in the seats, but okay. And aren't we all just marks anyway? But so I wanted to just, you know, kind of just follow up with that positivity and just be a breath of fresh air. You know, none of us are perfect. You know, as my cats and my dog are just running around causing all kinds of havoc in this house and chaos, you know, my makeup is never perfect. My face structure isn't perfect. My hair isn't perfect. I am an imperfect person. And I love that about myself, but it's taken me my whole entire life to literally get to the point where I can actually say that and mean it. Not just saying fluff for some fluff piece, but to be myself for good or for bad, no matter what anyone says. That is true freedom. That is power. And it's what I'm experiencing for the first time. And, you know, it kind of makes you go from wanting to feel like you just want to just give up everything, curl up and die, to having like a whole new sense of purpose in life. And that's what you all have done for me. And I want to do that for everyone else, because we can feel so alone, but if there's other people going through some similar things, why are we alone? Why are we suffering in silence instead of opening up? Because silence to me is acceptance, and I don't like being silenced. And people have this thing where they feel like they'll be blackballed if they say stuff. I'm going to be touching on in my videos how the complete opposite is true. And the only way you are truly blackballed for being honest and speaking out about bad things that are happening is by the people that never wanted you there to begin with. So who cares? Who the flipping F cares? Seriously, rock out, be yourselves, have a ball, because that's what it's all about after all. Yes, I just quoted Grease, knew the whole movies before I hit kindergarten. Sorry, Mom, put you on blast right there. Probably not the best. But no, seriously, life should be about having fun and giving back and making the world a better place than how you first found it. You know, and there's really no excuse for being so destructive in the world when you can be doing so much good. Even if it's just donating $1, that's one more dollar that was donated that was not there before. That is a good deed. That is making the world better. It's all about perspective. And people that want to keep you down and keep you feeling small and itty bitty, every sort of ism designed to make you feel small that I've talked about in one of my other videos is all designs by people that want to hold you down because they benefit from a corrupt system. They benefit from making people cogs in a machine. So you can either be a cog in a machine or you can be a human being. The choice is ultimately entirely up to you and what you choose to do with that. You know, it's like this cult thing that, oh, you have to stay silent, you have to stay quiet and just grin and bear it, turn the cheek for the sake of the show, or you'll get blackballed. It's not the case, guys, and I will be touching on that. So never feel like you have to make yourself feel small in order for other people to feel large and big, because that's not a circle, that's a cage. And you don't deserve to be a bomb in a birdcage. You deserve to have a circle of support. And that, I'm like fired up because that's for me what the Taeler Army is. And I think that's like so cool that people believed in me so much that they wanted to create an army. Like, how cool is that? You know, and I have to support that and give back to that and be like, heck yeah, you know? Because at the end of the day, that's like one of the most powerful things, is to know that you are not walking alone and that you have an army behind you. And we get so caught up in our own stuff that we don't realize that we aren't alone, that there's other people going through stuff too, and you can all help each other. You know, I want to get to that point where someone can type to the Taeler Army, hey, Taeler Army, I am going through this right now. I need some help. You know, what do you guys suggest? Has anybody gone through this? How did you get through it? How cool would that be? And because it's a part of the Taeler Army, we don't have all these trolls saying, oh, well, you should just die. You should just kill yourself, or you should feel stupid for even posting about that. Instead, we're going to have this community that helps each other get through it, you know, and that's oh my gosh, it gives me the feels, because, you know, there was so many times in my life where I could have used that and I didn't have it. And it really could have saved me. And I want to help save other people from having to feel like they're alone, because we are not our circumstances, is the bottom line. Our circumstances happen, but they don't make us who we are unless we allow it. You know, we are going through circumstances. The circumstances don't define us. And we speak in such final terms, like such a finality, that it's like do or die. But really, there's so much more to it than that. So I'm going to go through some of the messages and kind of just, you know, I feel like there's just so much out there that we can do, and it's so cool, and I want to start that now. So without further ado, here we go. Hey! My first message that I want to talk about was from someone who, man, they were just bludgeoned with bad thing after bad thing after bad thing. They wrote me telling me about how they were feeling down in the dumps, so to speak, because they were getting sick and sicker and sicker and sicker. And it started off just sick, and then it's sicker, sicker, sicker. And they didn't know what was wrong. They ended up being very, very sick. They ended up having to leave school, which started their student loans up. And then they ended up losing their job because they were so sick that they couldn't work. And they ended up having to get seen by a doctor, and it took forever to figure out what was wrong. And then they end up having surgery, and now they're on the mend and can possibly, you know, get a new job and go back to school. And they were just so devastated, so upset, and just, you know, in a sea of negativity. And my first thought when I read about their story was, you are awesome. Go you. And I don't feel like if we were in person, I don't feel like they would have thought that that was the appropriate response. But from my perspective, it was an amazing response, because I was like, you got through it. You were not a statistic. You are a success story. You are an inspiration. You were handed this and you said, no, I am not going to just accept this as being okay. I'm going to fight this. And you did. You found a doctor that actually believed you, didn't just think you were crazy and try to shove pills down your throat for them to get paid extra money from drug companies. No, you found someone that believed in you, believed that you knew about your body and that something was wrong. And then they did everything they could to figure out what the heck it was, and then helped you come up with a treatment plan that worked. Now you are a completely different person, and now you want to go to school for something completely different because this passion inside of you is changed. You went through something to where you will never be the same person you were before. Don't mourn the person that you used to be. Be embracing the person that you are now, because you are this person now for a reason. You know, we find doctors all the time that really don't give a crap, you know, at first do no harm. Yeah, right. All these pills shoving down the throats, you know, oh, you're crazy, you're depressed. Well, gee, I wonder why I'm depressed. Maybe it's because, you know, nobody will believe me when I'm telling them something's wrong. You know, I hear that all the time from people, and it's very frustrating as the person listening to it, because it's like, no, clearly you know your body better than anyone else. There's something wrong. People need to believe you. And I feel like that's very frustrating for these people that are experiencing it, because it's like, I'm not crazy. I'm not depressed. The only thing that may be making me anxious or depressed is the fact that I know something's wrong and you're not helping me, you know? So for this person, I was like, you are amazing. You are going to help so many people now because of what you yourself went through. That's amazing. And now you have this whole new purpose. And you've already kind of started to make a plan to execute this purpose. You know, you're looking at how you can get back to school, how your student loans will stop, and how long it'll take you to finish this so you can be on your way to helping people, and what kind of job you can do in the meantime so that you don't officially lose your apartment, so you can continue to have a roof over your head, food to eat, and clothes on your back. That's amazing. And for me, this person didn't see that in themselves, and I just want to be like, yo, get woke, if that's what people still say, because you are amazing. You are beautiful. You have already come up with a plan to how you are going to change your life and so many other people's lives for the better, for the positive. Why? Because you fought for yourself, because you didn't take no for an answer, and you saw through to make sure that you survived what you were going through, and you just didn't take it as your lot in life. You said, no, I was going to beat this. You know, this person was alone. They didn't have a family helping them. They were getting ready to lose the roof over their head. They were getting ready to lose everything. Everything was dropping around them. And so they were just so immersed in this sea of negativity that they felt like they were drowning. And me listening as an outside person to their story, I was like, you did it. You survived. Go you. You are amazing. Tell your story and be proud of the person you are because of it. You didn't let your circumstances define you. You defined those circumstances. And that is such a powerful, amazing thing. Don't change that. Keep going. You are awesome. You triumphed. Go you. And that's my perspective on it. And that's, you know, some people might say it's easy to say that because it wasn't you going through it. And you're absolutely right. When I was told I had cancer, I was literally in the library at the at an elementary school when I was working for the YMCA. So then in my head, I was like, oh my God, I just got told I have cancer and I have to finish my work shift with all of these kids and act like nothing's wrong. And then it was several months before I even told my family about it, before I even thought about getting a second opinion. And then lo and behold, I was misdiagnosed. So a little piece of me can understand how it can be so easy to just feel like you are literally just drowning in a sea and you can't see a coastline to swim to, and you just want to give up. And you come to that point where you just resign yourself to giving up, and you just look up, you make peace with whatever God you believe in, and then you just let your feet drop. But then something weird happens. You let go. You decide not to float anymore, not to struggle anymore, not to try anymore. And you let go, and you feel like you're going to sink down, and your feet touch the ground. Your feet touch the bottom, and you realize you can stand up. You can see the shoreline. That story is what my mind went to, because this person wanted to give up. This person couldn't see that they were so close to shore that they could put their feet down, you know, and they could stand up in the water and they could make it to shore. That to me is what their story showed me. And so it just goes to show you that if you reach out to people, the right people, if you put yourself out there and you're free with your authenticity, you'll realize that you are so much stronger than what you give yourself credit for. And your story means so much more to so many people than you even realize. You really aren't alone. So, heck yeah. Keep going. Next one. So, this girl, her boyfriend broke up with her. She was feeling very down in the dumps, and, you know, she just lost her job, and she was talking about how, you know, she didn't feel like she was beautiful. She didn't feel like she mattered. She didn't feel like she had much self-worth, and she, you know, felt like she needed to look a certain way, and she couldn't, because she couldn't afford anything. She couldn't do anything. It was making her feel very bad about herself. And I started thinking, I slurred those sentences, how many times that not just women, but also men feel that way, because we have such a look-based society these days, you know, with Instagram and everything else, that people are getting surgeries all over everywhere and everything. And the first thing I thought was, wow, how many times have I felt what this particular girl is going through, you know, like not feeling like I'm beautiful enough, not feeling like I do my makeup well enough, not feeling like my skin is tan enough, not feeling like my teeth are straight enough, not feeling like my everything, and thinking to myself, oh, wow, like how can I compete with some of these women? You know, I remember when I went to TNA, I felt like a little girl, you know, and a lot of these other women that were on the roster, you know, had WWE experience and a whole bunch more TV and fashion experience, and they were women. You know, they knew how to look good. They knew what looked good on them. They had this, you know, female confidence that I feel comes with life experience and just being a woman. And here I am, I'm just this young, freshly turned 23-year-old, had no idea about what colors look good on me, had no idea about like how to do pretty much anything, really. Let's be honest. I will be honest. I had really like no idea how to do anything. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, these are women. They all have this WWE experience. What the heck am I doing here? What am I doing? You know, they all have like so much more money than me. They can look a certain way. They can do certain things. They know about so many things that I don't know about. Oh my gosh. It was so intimidating. But then I realized I don't have to be them. I have to be me, because at the end of the day, the one unique thing I bring to the table is myself. And for this girl, I feel like that's important, is you're unique. You're an individual for a reason, and you don't need to be spending thousands upon thousands of dollars to look a certain way. You know, a lot of people that say, I woke up like this, it's like, no, they really didn't wake up like this. You need to wake the heck up for real. And if they do wake up like that, then they're probably waking up like that after paying, what, over $10,000 to look that way, or they woke up like that to look like that by a huge pro makeup team. Let's be honest. So just to show her that I wasn't blowing smoke up her butt, I'm going to show you guys a bunch of things where I'm not sponsored by them. And this is something I've touched on in some other videos. I put my money on the line so you guys don't have to. And that's what I think is really cool, is I'm not going to be pushing any products that I don't believe in. I'm not going to be a part of that culture where I'm pushing all kinds of things on people just so I can make money. I don't believe in that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a part of that. That crap is so freaking fake. It's ridiculous. So here's what I'm going to do. These are one of my vitamins. And I got this at Target. It compares to Centrum Women's Multivitamin. And I only paid, guess how much? $6.99. Was I paying $300 for a bunch of supplements? No, I was not. $6.99. And this right here took the place of 3 different things that I was taking. All by itself for $6.99. 120 tablets, taking only 1 a day. You do the math. Didn't really cost me that much, did it? My eyebrows that you see today, I can say with complete certainty that I did not wake up like that. I ran out of my favorite Wonder 2 Cosmetics Wonder Brow. So I decided that I would buy this Wet n Wild little thingy-majig that was only $1 at the dollar store. Well. Yay! $1. 99 cents to $1. My favorite mascara is actually an older one. I've tried so many other ones. I just don't really like them. This is my favorite one. It's CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume. I think I paid like $6.99 for it at a CVS. Love it. Wearing it right now, along with Ardell mini magnetic lashes that I paid for at $5 at Walmart on clearance. So we're, you know, how many dollars in? Not that much. My tape and hair extensions. I know women, and I was one of them. I at one point was paying like $1,000 every 3 months to get my hair done a certain way and whatnot. And it was so harmful too. I got like little bald spots on my head at one point. I will never recommend those particular hair extensions. And I actually introduced some other peers of mine in wrestling to these. I buy these on Amazon from Fab Wigs. I read a bunch of the reviews and everyone talked about how the tape sucked. So what I did was, these are 24 inches long. They cost me $52. And I buy tapes, new tapes from Sally's Beauty Supply, and I retape them. And then I taught one of my friends via YouTube how to put them in my head. So not only do I save myself a salon visit, I'm getting these at 1/5 of the price, or maybe even 1/7 of the price that I was paying for others. And I dye them myself and tape them myself and take them out myself. So I have beautiful, thick, luscious hair that I would not have if I woke up like this. But this is actually all my real hair. That's why it looks a mess. So I'm getting like over $1,000 worth just by doing this myself, paying $52 plus maybe like $8 at Sally's for tape. And then some of my favorite dyes cost me maybe a total of $20 total. So you do the math. Let's see here. Oh, yes. I'm on the road a lot, so a mirror is definitely a huge thing. Oh, it's like Inception. I got that at the dollar store, paid $1. It replaced my $20 mirror that I had had for years for $1. And then this little supplement here, I had never heard of it until recently. It's called Renew by WellPath, I think. This right here was, I think, $22 or $24, and it took the place of 5 different supplements that I was taking. At the end of the day, you can look and feel however you want without having to spend your bank account. That bottle, this one right here, literally takes the place of like 5 different supplements, and I feel amazing from my hair, my skin, my joints, just a bunch of different things. So this is like my amino acid post-workout. This is my joint supplement because I have some genetic joint conditions. This also helps with regrowing my hair, helping my skin. I have very sensitive, very porcelain fair skin. So the sun affects me, makeup affects me, exercise affects me. I've had girls literally pull out my hair to the point where like I had like bald spots and stuff, and like it was so painful. I was like bleeding from the scalp. This stuff helps along with Nioxin. Nioxin's very expensive, but I will say it has so worked for me. It's filled in my hairline so much. You know, a lot of people don't talk about like a lot of the stuff that happens in wrestling, but hair extensions, hair dye, pulling, the styling, just the stress of putting it up, like a lot of that really wears. And I had like big gaps in my hair where like some of my hair was like missing that much on the ends compared to others. I had to chop off, like, oh, it's just a mess. And it's a lot of things that a lot of people don't talk about. So, I mean, you can literally look and feel however you want without breaking the bank. And remember, just because someone's pushing something on social media doesn't mean it works. And you don't have to feel inferior just because other people know how to do more than you. Like, for real, I learned most of my stuff by myself because, you know, most people don't have like my particular like skin. And a lot of like YouTube tutorials literally are with people with so much tanner skin and different like face structures, and not everything works, and that's okay. I know girls that spend tons of money on teeth whiteners. I got sponsored by a company that I love, and if you go on my Instagram in my little bio, you have a code where you're getting like 90-something% off of their product, and I love their product. I'm getting ready to use it again before next weekend. They're called White with Style, and it's a teeth whitener, because I was paying like $40-something for those teeth whiteners, and it hurt my teeth. I was like, oh my God, they're so sensitive. It hurts to breathe. Don't put air on my teeth. Like one of those things, you know? And then the sensitive white strips, they would like come off and they'd be all like slimy. So, you know, you do not have to get plastic surgery to be beautiful. You do not have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars like we have all done to feel beautiful. Literally, my Pravana hair dye is $9.99 on Amazon. I already told you about my hair extensions. I stopped getting my nails professionally done because of the damage. I now just do glue on, seriously, and I feel just as amazing as I did when I was getting them professionally done. Seriously, and there's so much less damage and more money in my pocket. I love that because then it's more time I can pay off my bills, less time I have to spend working on things that I don't want to work on. You know, so if you make smart decisions, you won't be wasting your money and you'll still feel beautiful regardless of whether someone broke up with you or not. And you can still feel that beautiful even while you're looking for a new job. So the moral of the story is you can find little things that make you feel beautiful, but at the end of the day, you need to feel beautiful with yourself and make smart decisions for yourself first before you can be happy with anybody else. And that's one of the hardest things. And I really struggle with that because there's so many different struggles we all go through as people, but at different points in our lives, they may not seem as hard. So I want to say that loving yourself first and being good and okay with yourself first is one of the hardest things because you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Like, my makeup isn't perfect. One of my eyebrows isn't the exact same shape as the other because I have a big scar here and different bone structures. These two teeth are crooked. You know, I've never had plastic surgery. A lot of people think plastic surgery. No. I was born this way. I can actually say I woke up like that because I did. And, you know, I talked for years and years and years about wanting, you know, my lips done and my breasts done and all kinds of other things that I was learning about done and Botox and this and that and the other. I'm so glad I never ended up getting any of it, to be honest with you. So glad, because what's going to happen in 10 years when giant lips and giant this and giant that aren't like the style anymore? You know, like each decade has its own style. Like back in like the 40s, you had to pluck your hairline until it was like way up here. That was a style. That's not even a thing anymore. You know, and then do we remember in the late 90s, early 2000s when it was like pencil thin eyebrows and super crazy tan to the point where people actually like changing like the color of their skin for real with some chemical? That's not even a thing anymore. You know, so you have to really be smart and save yourself money and just kind of love yourself first and then go from there and realize you don't have to be competing with anybody but yourself. You're your competition and you're beautiful no matter what. That sounds so corny, but it's so true. And then once you realize that you are beautiful no matter what and no matter what your circumstances are, you're going to find that it's so much easier to feel beautiful without spending all kinds of crazy money, you know? All I have to say about that. You go, girl. Find ways to make yourself feel beautiful. You won't regret it. So another message I got was, I'm trying to think, there's so many that I want to talk about that it's like, sorry, my freaking cats are like going nuts. Nuts. Oh man, kittens. We get so caught up in negativity and about what people think about us. This one person was messaging me about how one of their best friends pretty much abandoned them, and they were very afraid because that was the person they had come out to about being transgender. And now they feel really alone and they are not sure if they want to come out to anybody else, because the first person they chose was the person they trust the most out of anyone, and that person turned on them. You have to understand that if that person turned on you, that doesn't mean that you are any less worthy of acceptance. We live in a society that's all about awareness. I say screw awareness. Let's work on acceptance. Like, it's great that we want to work on autism awareness and all this other stuff, but why not, instead of just being aware, why don't we accept it? This is a thing. It isn't a fad. This is an actual disease. This is an actual thing. You know, being transgender is an actual thing. We should be practicing acceptance, not shaming and bullying and awareness. You know, don't take this experience as you are any less worthy of love, any less worthy of acceptance, any less worthy of just human kindness and decency. You know, it's unfortunate that that person reacted that way. I can't tell you why they did. I don't know this person, but what I can say is everything you are feeling is valid. You are completely entitled to your feelings and to be bitter about it. And who wouldn't? You're coming out about who you are and who you truly feel you should be. And this person just abandons you and berates you and makes you feel like less of a human being. You aren't less of a human being compared to anybody. You deserve happiness like everybody else. You are everybody else. You aren't your circumstances. And honestly, who cares if you are transgender? Does it change who you are as a person? Are you still a good human being, is my question. And if your answer is yes, then screw that person. They are not meant to be in your life. And that sounds negative, but I think it's a positive thing. It's more of like a self-empowering thing, because you have to understand that some people are in our lives to teach us lessons. You know, some people, they might be riding with you, but they ain't for you. And this person was clearly riding with you for a time until it possibly no longer suited them, or they were uncomfortable. And if they're uncomfortable, that's okay. They're not for you. They're not meant to be in your circle anymore. You have to learn and figure out how to accept that to move forward with your life and wish that person well. You are entitled to your feelings. It's okay to be bitter. You know, it's not okay though to be bullied. So always stick